you're an Eagle fan, you've got to be excited about this Eagles defense. They're fun to watch, they're young, they're fast, they play hard, they hit hard, and their biggest test of the season is coming up this week. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Kick Dingbat here, and the Eagles are 7-2, and we just got done burying the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, burying the Dallas Cowboys as we stuck them in the grave in Dallas. What a beautiful thing. But let's all face it, the Cowboys, they stink. We all knew we were going to win going into that game. And for the Eagles, right now, going this Thursday, this game versus the Washington Commanders is a huge game, the biggest game of the season. And sit back, Eagle fans, relax a little bit until at least Thursday, and enjoy this, because this is football season. We are in November, and things are heating up, and now the Eagles, who are now in first place, have a chance to put some distance between them and Washington. Don't believe and don't buy this narrative that the Eagles can't beat Detroit or they can't win this whole thing. I don't believe it. This is a young upstart team, which defense is getting better and better each week, and the offense is still getting better themselves. But we know how talented this team is, and there is no reason why this team can't go really, really far. It's just the way it is. Mark my words, the Eagles will be in the NFC Championship game. Now, a few things before we talk about the main thing I want to talk about, but there will be a Philly Shakedown podcast tomorrow, Wednesday, about 8 o'clock most likely. I'm also going on Rio's show. He's a Washington Commanders fan. That should be some fun. I have to figure out what time that is, but it'll be before the Shakedown most likely. And then, I'm sorry I could not stream today, Tuesday, because of the Eagles playing Thursday and me pretty much taking off that day to stream that game. I have a bunch of stuff to do, and I could only really get this video out really, really early. So it's a busy day Tuesday for me because of that. But in the meantime, we are sitting on the cusp. Can't speak. We are sitting on the cusp. I sound like White Mike Tyson today. It's ludicrous, but we are on the verge of pulling away in the NFC East. This game versus Washington is a tough game. Now, I'm going to say this. For those people out there that think Washington is some pushover, that they're lucky they haven't played anybody, don't buy into that narrative. Do not buy into it. This is a good team. This is a team that has veterans mixed with some young kids, well coached, and Jaden Daniels is going to be a good quarterback. I like the kid coming out. I think he's going to be good for years to come. So I think really the way things are headed right now, the Eagles and Washington are going to be battling for this division for a long time. We'll see what the Giants do if they get the first pick in the draft and end up getting themselves a franchise quarterback. But really, Dallas and the Giants, they're in chaos. The Eagles and Washington, however, this is a big game. And, I don't remember, and I was trying to think about this, I don't remember the last time Washington was really good and we were really good. I mean, you have to go back a long time, I'm sure. But this game is like, this is like the greatest Thursday night football game that I can remember in a long time. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Now, let's take a quick look at the Eagles injury report here. This was the latest one we have at the time this video is being made. Nakobe Dean, groin, did not practice. Dallas Goedert, ankle, did not practice. Darius Slay, ankle, did not practice. Devontae Smith, hamstring, did not practice. Huff and Mulata, full practice. So getting Jordan Mulata back this week would be absolutely huge for the Eagles. As far as these other injuries, it's kind of hard to tell in a short week like this because if these guys are just a little bit banged up, they're not going to practice. You have a short week, not a lot of rest. So I expect every one of these guys on the injury report to play. The only guy that I would think maybe couldn't go, wouldn't go would be Darius Slay, but he even returned in the game. So I expect him to play this week in what is going to be just, I mean, a monstrous game. And we got to throw a shout out to ZACH ERTZ, because it's going to be really, and it is weird watching ZACH ERTZ play on another team. It's weird. It's weird, especially with Washington. But ERTZ is coming back to Philly, and he's going to come back as a commander, trying to put us in second place. He went on, I guess he interviewed with John Clark, and this is what ERTZ had to say. Quote, "Just because I'm playing down here, it doesn't change how I feel about the city, the people, the fans there. I don't know what the reception is going to be, but it's going to be a good day to see familiar faces." And he went, I guess, told John Clark that. I mean, I don't see, and I don't foresee any reason why ZACH ERTZ would not get a standing ovation. ZACH ERTZ was great Eagle, helped, I mean, really one of the biggest catches in Eagles history, Eagle Hall of Famer. He'll get a standing O. We don't treat our guys like Saquon Barkley gets treated going to the Giants, right? We don't get treated like that. So ZACH ERTZ will get a great reception. And speaking of Saquon Barkley, I love how the Eagles, even though it didn't happen maybe the way I wanted to, I loved that the Eagles only gave him 14 carries this past week. That's all he needed. He didn't need more than that, because this Thursday, the guardrails are off. He needs 25 carries, give it to him. He needs 27 carries, give it to him. 22 carries, give it to him. Whatever it takes to get it done. And Barkley, for all those that said, "Oh, Barkley's shot, he's not that good. Did you see him in Giants?" I said, "You ever see Barkley play on a talented team?" No. All right, let's see what he looks like when he plays with a team with talent around him. 171 carries this year, 991 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 5.8 yards a carry. And let me tell you something about his 6 touchdowns. I bet the over under 7.5. It's going to hit the over. He should have 13 touchdowns. If the Eagles didn't do the push-tush as much as they do, he would have double-digit touchdowns already. Saquon Barkley is a beast, and you got to use him again versus Washington this week. You got to. And I will go more into detail about the game and what I think the Eagles got to do in that game on my preview prediction video that will be out tomorrow. But right now, as I said, this is where we find out what we are, okay? This is where we find out. Not just the Commanders game. This is an important game for the Eagles. The way I see this game, this is a bigger game for the Eagles than it is for the Commanders, because the Commanders get you at home one more time. The Eagles got to take care of their home turf. They've got a chance and an advantage because they're playing Thursday night in Philly. They got to take advantage of it. And if they do, then the worst that you can get with Washington is a split. That means you split with everybody in your division. This is an important game for the Eagles. My focus is on the division, of course. However, I am eyeing that number 1 seed. We watched the Detroit Lions. They're good. They're really good. But they almost lost. They can lose, and I believe the Eagles can beat them. And if the Eagles have home field advantage against the Lions, because I think the championship game is going to be Eagles-Lions. I do. If you get home field, you're going to Super Bowl. It's just the way it is. And if you don't get home field, you still might go to Super Bowl. Okay? But the Lions, they're good. And I think the only team in the NFC that can beat them at this point are the Eagles. Now, maybe if 49ers get healthy and stuff, we'll see. But right now, I think the Eagles are the only team that can beat them. But this stretch, the next 3 games for the Eagles, is the toughest part of their schedule. After you get through this, you could win every single game. So you got Washington, then you have the Rams, and you have to go to LA for that one. I think the Eagles, they should beat them. They usually beat the Rams in California, so we'll see. And then you got the big matchup versus Baltimore week 13. Now, if the Eagles take care of business and beat Washington, beat the Rams, whatever happens in that Baltimore game in terms of division, it ain't going to hurt the Eagles one way or the other. But these next 3 games are the important games, because this is going to tell us what the Eagles are. Nobody can say, oh, the Eagles haven't played anybody. Well, the Eagles already beat Green Bay, so I don't even pay attention to that kind of talk. And I tell Washington fans, don't pay attention to the talk of you haven't beaten anybody. Don't listen to it. You can only play who's on your schedule. And the same thing with the Eagles. But what is interesting is this defense. Okay, I thought that the Eagles' offense would carry us early in the year and the defense would come on later in the year. Now, it's kind of gone like that, except I think the defense is way ahead of where it's way ahead of what I thought they would be. I thought they'd still be struggling and they would start playing good like around mid-December, end of December, but they're not. And part of it is because Quinyon Mitchell's playing like a Pro Bowler. Zach Bond is playing like one of the best linebackers in the league. Cooper DeJean, he's playing like a Pro Bowl corner. I mean, these guys are young and they're playing good. And how about Jalen Hunt? He's out there, he's getting snaps, and he's contributing. Big pass deflection almost was a pick by Nakobe Dean. Right now, it's the craziest thing because the Eagles' pass rush, especially those edge rushers, are probably your biggest worry. But the Eagles are still finding ways to get sacks and get to the quarterback right now. And your secondary is lights out. Your linebackers have been really good. And right now, the Eagles are in a position where their defense is putting up numbers that are historical. Check this out. The Eagles held the Cowboys and the Giants to the NFL's only games this season under 50 passing yards. Those are the only 2 times all season that an NFL offense had finished with fewer than 50 net passing yards. The combination of the Eagles' stout defense and, of course, the Giants and Cowboys' offensive incompetence led to that stat that you just don't see in modern NFL. In fact, there were numbers that no one has ever seen in NFL history. Only 2 teams ever have completed at least 17 passes but netted then fewer 50 passing yards. And those were the Cowboys and the Giants against the Eagles the past 2 weeks. All right, that's how good this defense is playing. Now, you can say to man and say, oh, well, they didn't play anybody good. They're not playing good. Okay, but isn't this what you're supposed to do against bad teams and bad quarterbacks? Aren't you supposed to be that dominant? Well, the Eagles are doing their job. They're looking good. This defense is so fun to watch. It's not even fun. I love watching them take the field. Over even during Schwartz's time, there are times where I hated watching the defense. They just drove me crazy. These guys are fun. And of course, Bond's got to get resigned. You have to resign him. And then just think about this. This defense, like guys like Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, now Jalen Hunt is getting snaps. These young guys are playing. They're getting snaps. Okay, they're learning to play this year. By the time they get in the playoffs, they're not rookies anymore as far as I'm concerned. Okay, once the playoffs start, it's a new season. But just think of all that experience and then going into next season when you add a premier pass rusher on the outside to go along with what you have. Okay, and imagine all those guys having all that experience at such a young age. This defense is nothing but going up, man, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love this team. This team is fun to watch. Sure, we have problems and things get annoying, but they're fun to watch. And even, people criticize Hurts because of the interceptions, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about how great Hurts was after the interceptions and what he had to do to get things right. Once that sun went down, it was it. No more mistakes by Hurts. And Jalen's getting better. The offense is getting better, learning to do what they need to do. And then this defense, week after week. So we are going to get a big test this week. I mean, look, they made CeeDee Lamb chops. I don't care he had no quarterback, okay? He had 4 targets, 3 receptions, and 4 yards versus Cooper DeJean. That's pretty damn good, okay? No yards after the catch, which is always something that has killed us. It's just go out there and double moonwalk that ass. And that's what we got to do. Biggest test of the season this year. It gets real now, and I cannot wait. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it. So I've had a lot of requests, people asking they want to see an update on the kitties. Well, they're almost 3 weeks, 2.5. This is Jovi. This is the big talker, screamer one. We call her Jovi. Of course, they're all going to have Christmas names, reindeer names, all that kind of stuff. But say hello. Say hello. Say hi. Yeah, this is Jovi. She talks the most. Just constantly talks. And, yeah, they're getting big. They're going to start walking more and more this week. But just wanted to give you guys an update on how they're doing. Denzel Washington and Jovi out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.